Dan's so good at this. Your broadcast is live. It said that.
Jan is not so good at this. However, we are live.
Hi,
Hey, how you
everybody.
doing,
I don't know who's here
everybody?
yet, but I love everyone.
Hi,
Well, it
this
might
is
take
Jan.
everybody a few minutes to show up, too.
Yeah,
Hi, this is Jan from New York City, and Dawn from Sensible Living with Money Mom, and Brandon from Grandma's Wealth Wisdom. How's everybody doing today? Hey, absolutely adorable studio. How are ya? Hope that everybody's doing well. I am beyond honored and humbled to have with me Dawn from Sensible Living with Money Mom, and of course you too, Brandon. But you know what? I'm going to say hello to the viewers in a minute. Hey, Debbie, how are you? But
Oh,
I
Sharon
want
Jackson.
I
Hey, Sharon. Debbie Saves. Wow. Hi, everybody.
you know what? We'll give everybody a second for our hellos. Hey, Sharon. Hey, Debbie. Debbie, wasn't that long ago you were on the other side of the screen. Hey, Patty.
Wow, gosh, all the wonderful people. I tell you, we've got this is such a wonderful, supportive community, isn't it, everyone?
You know, it really is. And that's what makes me get up and do this.
Yeah, I think we should give everybody maybe a little bit more time, just in case.
We will.
Can you share them on your screen with your phone? I don't know if I don't know if everybody can see the comments. I'm not sure.
So you could tap the comments. Well, obviously Dawn just saw comments.
Yeah, I can see, yeah, because it was on private chat before and I hit
okay. She says she misses me. Aw, Debbie.
Oh, I gotta read it. Hi from Ed and Kitty. Rainy day, I'm a dog. Dawn, thank you.
Kitty.
What a wonderful group of people.
So
I love everybody.
Okay, so if everybody's like settling in, get your tall one, your cup of joe, your tea. I have my wonderful cup of water. No. If I had my boing sound effect, boing.
But what's in the water, everybody wants to know, right, guys?
Hi.
It's vodka, really.
Well, I have a couple of questions for Dawn of my own. And this is perfect because it gives everybody a chance to get in there. And then we'll do some of the questions that were actually indicated in the comment section of my video upload yesterday. And then we'll go on to random questions. Are you okay with that, guys?
Dawn and Brandon. With that. Hey,
okay.
From Queens. Hi, Violet. Hi, I'm just going to say hi to everybody. Okay, go ahead.
Hey, the long run. How you doing? Just finished premiering. Oh, cool. Very cool.
And guess what? Long run. I have a surprise for you next week because I upload 1 week ahead.
So, Dawn, let's get right into it. Okay, everybody. I'm not ignoring you. You know I love you guys, but I have to ask some questions. Go ahead. Dawn, okay, when did you start your channel?
August 20th, 2017. So it's been a little over 3 years.
Okay. Would you say that it was a fast growing channel or moderately growing? Because mine is like
it kind of ebbs and flows. It depends on the videos, because if you have one really good video, you can get a lot of subscribers. So I've had some really great months, some not, it kind of just goes, it's kind of like a mountain, up and down and then stable and that kind of thing. But I've enjoyed every minute of it.
Anyway, okay. So what is your channel's mission?
My mission, I feel, is maybe different than other people. I don't think of this as my YouTube channel. I think of it as our YouTube channel. And the reason why is I'm wanting to create a community. I want a community of like-minded, growth-minded people. I like to keep everything as positive, to do the best we can to improve every area of our life, whether it's mental health, spiritual health, finances, making more money, saving more money, and do what we can do with the resources that we have, and to lift one another up and to keep things as positive as I can and enjoy life along the way with this journey. The best thing about the channel are all the comments below, because I see so many people helping each other and showing support. That's what I want. This isn't a comparathon. This is a place where we can grow as people.
I love that word that you just used. I never heard of a comparathon, but you know what? I'm with you, Brandon. I can absolutely know that you're growing a community. I just know it.
Yes.
And Patricia Russell says, you did that, Dawn. Wow.
Yeah, but
Wow.
it's not just me. If you've noticed, and Jan, you and I talked about this, I only bring up all the wonderful subscribers and viewers and the good things. Because of that, I feel like our channel attracts more of that. And it's not about me, because where would we be without our wonderful subscribers and viewers? They're taking their time when they could be doing something else to watch us. And to me, that is the best gift you can have.
I am personally beyond humbled. Now, the three of us, we discussed financial, but yet the three of us are in like completely different worlds. Would you tend to agree with that, Brandon, right? I mean, okay, for example, I call myself small potatoes, grocery store tips, this, that, and that's nothing wrong with that. And my mission for my channel is to encourage people to save. There are people that say, I can't save. I'm looking at the camera. Everyone can save. Everyone can save. This is my mission. And everyone is different, and yet it's all wonderfully put together. So, okay, Dawn, out of all of your video uploads, which one would you say would be your most memorable?
Before answering that, I want to say this. Sometimes there's no rhyme or reason of what videos you think may get a lot of views. I have some videos that don't do well, and I have other videos that do. And sometimes it surprises me, the videos that don't do well. It may be wording, it just doesn't interest people, it's not in the search. And sometimes it surprises me what videos do well. Like, I am struggling. I am shocked that that video got as many views, but I think people could relate to it. But my most memorable video, which was inspired by Coffee with Kate, I know she's changed her name. I still think of her as my dear friend Coffee with Kate, is the one with how cheap and frugal living really.
That's a great channel. I love that.
And I'm going to do an upload on updates of that once a year, probably around August or so. That video I know has over 176,000 views. That one gained me a lot of subscribers. It gave me over a couple thousand subscribers. And I just never thought I would have a video that had over 100,000 views ever.
On your Patreon channel, I noticed that someone made a comment a while back that said that you are America's newest national treasure.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that was so sweet.
That is really cool. Now, Patricia Russell says she's so cheap.
Sure. Oh my goodness. Well, we have a question coming up about that might surprise you.
I love it. Good for you. Okay, Violet Henning says the videos don't want to be making. I hate doing this, but the videos I don't want to be making gets the most. You're not kidding. The videos that you don't plan on and don't like making get the most views. Okay, I'll give you a tiny example for me. I made this flimsy. I probably was in a rush that day. Horrible, like like when you're first doing YouTube. Terrible filming, everything. How to make a coffee cake from pancake mix. That thing got 8,000 views. Now, for a tiny YouTuber like me, 8,000 views is incredible.
Do you still get views on that, Jan, and get comments on that?
8,000. It jumped up another 1,000 in the last month and a half. My worst. I mean, look it up. It's like horrible. But it's wait a minute. It's good content, but horrible filming because we're all learning, and it was like the beginning stages, So anyway. On Social Security, you have to know how to be frugal. You are correct, Patricia. Very, very true. Okay. So, Dawn, on a scale of 1 to 10, how frugal do you consider yourself to be?
Oh my goodness. I have to tell you this. I really don't feel I'm as frugal as I could be. And let me just be honest with you guys. Number one, I have yard guys. We don't do our own yard work. Most frugal people I know do their own yard work, and we don't do most of our own home type repairs. And, there are areas I'm frugal, but there are areas that I'm not. So 10 would be somebody that really is frugal, that doesn't have yard care. They don't do their hair, all that kind, or they don't go to get their hair done, that kind of thing. I would probably give me a 6 or 6.5. Does that make sense? Because I can always improve, but there's some things that I enjoy in life. Like I don't want to do my own yard work. Okay, I'll be honest with you. I do not. So there are things that I do pay for, services that I do pay for. So I could be way more frugal than I am, but considering when I started the channel, I've slashed over $1,000 off our monthly budget. So we could live off a little over $2,000 a month with everything, which I think is pretty good. That's with everything. Everything.
Yeah. You go to a Manhattan supermarket, you need 2,000 for that.
So I would say I'm modified frugal. There's a lot of areas I'm frugal, but there's areas I can improve on. But there's some areas that I don't want to change. If I had to, I could. The one would be the yard guy. I do get my hair done once every 6 weeks. I don't want to do my own hair. So those would be two areas.
No, I understand.
Yeah.
And I was going to ask you a question, but you kind of answered it already. I was going to ask you, are you really as frugal as you portray on your videos?
I'm going to answer that question, then I'm going to segue it over to Brandon. Honestly, I consider myself modified frugal. I know a lot of people, I notice this on the channels, everybody talks about cutting everything back, and there's nothing wrong with that. We each have to choose what works for our household. That's why we call it personal finance. That being said, if you gave me a choice of making $30,000 a year and living off a really frugal budget, or making $50,000 a year, or having to make more money to pay for some of the things I want, I would rather make more money. Because you can cut everything out, and that's great. But the thing is if you're a homeowner, you have a car, you're getting older with your health, your job that you have may not be able to pay for all of those things. So for example, I'm going to go kind of on a rant thing, and I will segue it over to you in a minute, Brandon, so be patient with me. But
no segueing yet. I have to comment on Kathy Fitzpatrick for a second.
Okay, sure. And I'll get to Kathy in a moment too. I see that she wrote a comment.
Finish your point, Mom. Money Mom.
Sorry. But the thing is that I understand it's great to be frugal. I understand there's things we can cut out. There's things that we can save, especially on food waste. There's a lot of really powerful things we can do to saving money, and that's fantastic. But I'm just being real. Life costs money. For example, I had my wisdom teeth pulled out. That costs money. That didn't come for free. Okay. You got to have money for that. We had some car repairs. One of our computers needed to be replaced. We had a plumbing issue, had termites. You get the idea. These are house, and there's health, like the dental. Two people in the household needed new glasses. One of those was definitely a need. There's always life that comes up. That's why I really believe in making more money. I want to be making a higher income or hire more money, because making more money gives you more freedom. Because I know so many people that, I need to go to the dentist, but I don't have money. Oh, we desperately need home repairs, but I don't have money, or whatever. Or I need new glasses, but I'm going to have to wait 3 months because I don't have the money for that. I got to choose between two things. Wouldn't it be great to be able to make $4,000, let's say $5,000 a month, be able to live off $2,500 and have that extra $2,500 to do the things that you need to do, not want to do? I think a lot of people out there don't have money and put off expenditures that they actually need. And that's where coming in, being an entrepreneur is. But you said you have a quick question before segueing over to Brandon.
Before we jump to Brandon, and I know Brandon understands, Kathy Fitzpatrick said something that I have been meaning to tell you, and I put these horrible things on to tell you. Okay, Dawn, you're too hard on yourself. Your frugal lifestyle allows you to make a decision to have your yard work and home repairs done. Bravo, Kathy.
Thank you,
Bravo.
Kathy. I appreciate that. But one thing is, I really am working, and this is what's helped my channel. I'm being more authentic on my channel when it comes to my weight loss or non-weight loss, since I'm pretty much just maintaining right now, to be totally honest with you guys. I'm not losing more weight at this moment. I'm in the 180s. I'm just being honest. I want to be honest about my finances. I want to be honest about, anything dealing with my personality. I am not the most frugal out there. So if somebody really wants to bare bones their budget, my channel may not be for them. I'm just being honest about that. There's a lot of YouTubers out there that are finance channels that are way more frugal than me. I'm modified frugal. I always want to be honest about that.
And I agree with you. There's only so many corners you can cut at some point. If you need to get more income, you need to make more income, whether it's passively or actively. At some point, you could just trim the old hedges a little, you know, as much as you can.
Well, you know what, Jan? I mean, honestly, and I'd love for everyone to think about this. Think about whatever you're making now and how you're living your life. Imagine what an extra $1,000 a month would do in your budget. I can tell you, I can think of so many things that I would do with that extra $1,000.
Well, you know why? We can think of those options because we're frugal, and we know that $1,000 can go a lot longer ways than most people think. Oh, what's $1,000 in 2020? It's all how you look at it. I actually did a show once about what you can do with $100 in New York City. For example, you could take 33 subway rides for $100 any way you want in New York City. So like I broke it down to like you could buy 50 boxes of $2 cake mix, for example. That's to put things into perspective, because we're so numb to numbers lately. We hear of these huge numbers all over the place on TV, all over the place, that we've become numbified. So every once in a while, we need to dial it back a little bit. Adam, I know you come from Wales. So sweet of you to come here. The long one.
Can I add something there?
Please do. Yes, please.
Do, Brandon.
So I think there's a balance between your cutting expenses and growing income, and you have to balance between both worlds pretty often.
Yes.
And sometimes, and it's also about what brings happiness. So for me, doing the yard work isn't very happy for me. And it gets frustrating, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is taking me a long time. And if I can hire somebody to do it, I could do it myself. I could, easily do it.
And I've done it myself.
And I don't want to. And then there's other things that I don't see it as a value that I need. So for us, we haven't owned a car for about 10 years personally. Now I have a car. It just happens to be my mother-in-law's car, and it's a beater, but it works, and it doesn't, I don't need to have a car payment. She pays the insurance and all of that. So I'm very frugal in that regard. So I can be not frugal in other places. And from a business point of view, there's places that I'm definitely not frugal in, that I want to grow my income. And so I want to spend more money. And so that's kind of where I think about this idea of profit first, and thinking about, hey, how do I maximize what can bring the most value to being something that's going to create $1,000 instead of $30. Spending $30, whereas maybe
an investment, right? It's investing.
Yeah, it's an investment. So that 4 hours of doing the yard work for me versus spending time with my family, maybe that's worth it.
Absolutely. And somebody said, what won't you ever give up, Janet? I will not give up sending away my laundry, because I know some people, like, they actually love doing their laundry, but over here, I don't care for public laundries or whatever to do them. I rather just send it off, let them fold it, let them fluff it, let them bring it back. That saves me 2 to 3 hours a week. Those 2 to 3 hours, I could be doing something else to earn money instead of worrying about folding clothes and fluffing them. So that's just how I look at it. Everybody's got their own life and different values. So let me just dial this back a second. Yeah, Violet says, our currency is so bad right now. To hear you say $1,000 sounds like so much money. It's more than my monthly salary. You see, it all depends. Adam, the same here, Violet. Patricia Russell, me too, Violet. Violet says it's crazy. Yes, it is crazy.
But I do think $1,000 is a big deal. What you do is say, okay, how can I grow it to $10 and then $20, and you keep growing your income somehow. There's ways in our digital world.
Ways to save money, and there's always ways to make money.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Now, okay, Brandon for a second. Then Money Mom, we'll come back to you with
That's fine. I'd like to hear from
viewer questions. But now I'm going to focus a minute or so with Brandon. Okay, so the name of your channel is Grandma's Wealth Wisdom. Your channel name is Grandma's Wealth Wisdom. Why is that? Why did you come up with that title?
Yeah, well, a couple of reasons. I was raised by my grandmother, and my wife's, her father was from the greatest generation. So if we talk about him, or we say grandma, sometimes it's her. And we thought that looking at our world right now and the amount of consumption and everything, that the greatest generation can teach us a lot about what it means to be frugal, what it means to live.
I like that
on less.
approach. That's very nice. That's really cool.
And they came out of the Great Depression, and we are in a Great Recession, or past the Great Recession. And I believe we're going into some more time. So learning from that generation and saying, okay, do we really need the iPhone 7 or 10 or whatever iPhone it is now?
I'm just kidding.
But that's the thing. We think about grandma's generation. Did they live in the same house, right? For 30 years.
Right.
They didn't move.
No.
And they didn't upgrade every 5 seconds.
No.
They gardened. They did a lot of things about sustainability. And so our move towards sustainability, for me, I think, is moving back to our roots of that. So that's kind of where that name came from.
People repaired things before they right away ran to the store and just, oh, the heck with it, and just buy a new one.
Yep.
I mean, that was just normal. But, let's fix this thing first.
Yeah. So I think there's some wisdom that we can learn from her. Or again, you'll never see grandma, because I feel like your grandma looks different than mine, and we wanted to create a persona of her, so that way you have it in her head of who she is.
Absolutely. Now, you mentioned this to me when, by the way, I had the honor and pleasure actually of being on your channel on an interview, and a live interview. And I have to hook that up in my description box. And so the viewers could see that in case they missed that. Thank you for having me that day.
Oh, for sure.
And you had mentioned something like briefly, but I think there might have been a little time constraint, so we could maybe go over it a minute. What is the grandma's 10-10-10 rule of handling money?
Yeah, it's the 10-10-10 savings strategy is what we call it. And there's another thing. Savings is different than investing. When people are saying they're putting money into their 401k to save, that's an investment. Very much. It's very true. It's that they will even say. And so I look at, hey, what you need to be doing is saving, and saving 10% towards long term, 10% towards medium term, and 10% towards short term. I use percentage as opposed to numbers, because as your income grows, that percentage should change too, right? Meaning not the percentage won't change, but the amount will change, right? So if it's $1,000, 100, you know what I mean? And so having that 10-10-10 is going to really help, where you're not going to increase lifestyle creep. You start making more money and you spend more money, and you can say, well, this is what I have. 10% already goes to this and to that and to that. And you don't have to start with that 10-10-10. Maybe you start at 2%, 2%, 2%, or 3%, but you check in with yourself every quarter and elevate that up. And then if you have tithing, that's another 10%. So then you should be living on 60% of your income, not.
You mean 40% of your income should be going to all of the things that you're talking about? So if somebody makes $2,000, they should be living off about 1,400 of it, and that other 600 is used towards all those other things?
Yep. So long-term expenses, meaning your retirement. Medium term is like the taxes or things that are like a new car. Eventually, I'm going to have a car, so I want to save for that. And then the short term is Christmas. It so surprises me how many times people are freaking out at Christmas time saying, I don't have the money. I'm like, it comes every year.
I always laugh at that myself. It's like, oh, what a shocker.
Hanukkah instead. It's less money.
There was another fascinating thing. I thought it was adorable that you had mentioned on that interview when I was on your show, Brandon. Tell us about how your 2-year-old son has already started to learn about money.
Yeah. So he has these banks that we got. And again, we are savers, and we're going to teach him that from a 2-year-old. Right now, we start teaching him. So he has these 3 banks. They're like Lego banks. And one says saving, giving, and spending. And so he gets to choose what he wants to put it in. Does he know what those words are? I think it's all about the colors right now. But he gets to choose where he puts it, and every time he gets it out, he has some money in there too. Probably
how
more than
cool
my
is
wallet.
that? Now, let me dial this back a second. Excuse me, please. Patricia Russell says, yes, son-in-law had fancy job, got fancy car. Recently, he lost his job, but he's starting new. Well, sorry he lost his job, but glad he's starting new.
Yeah, that's good news.
We wish him the best.
Oh, frugal money. There's so many awesome people. I just want to say hi to everybody. I didn't want to. I am reading all the comments, but I'm not responding because I don't want to interrupt you guys talking. So hello, everyone, and I'm reading your comments. They're all wonderful.
Isn't it fantastic?
Not
to mention, Brandon, Amanda, who is your wife, and she's part of your amazing channel, which your amazing channel actually is multifaceted, but at the end of the day, it really comes into one being. Am I correct to assess it that way? Okay.
Yeah. We're a family unit, both of us, and we both have different voices, but she's a very smart person. So
there you go. There you go.
She married you. Why not? Right?
I know. Yeah.
Amanda describes in her videos, which are on the same channel, and talks about the FIFE movement, F-I-F-E. And this stands for Financially Independent Female Entrepreneur. Would you please elaborate about this?
Yeah. So we started that because if you look at our recession or what's happening, I feel like we're over leveraged. And if a lot more females were in places of influence, we might have not had as much. We wouldn't be in the crisis we're in, because typically females are about more on the safety side. They are more savers. They aren't the investor side, I guess. They don't risk as much as males. However, what's happening is with the baby boomers, the husbands are dying, and the females are left with what's there. And so they're going to have to become entrepreneurs or figure things out. And so we've seen that a lot of females are becoming entrepreneurs, are becoming maybe business owners. They're doing a side hustle or something. And we thought about, what does money look like from a feminine perspective? What does it look like to think through these systems from that lens, not just from a male-dominated lens? And so she's thought a lot about that side of things, and how does that equate to money? So the FIRE movement, if you ever heard of that, financially independent, retire early. I don't think none of us, if we're entrepreneurs, we will never probably retire.
Yeah. No, it just keeps going. It just keeps going.
So I'm like, hey, why don't we create financially independent female entrepreneur, and then we'll create a new movement. And so she does daily videos to help educate people, and knowing that
they're really, really nice. They're very important, and they usually come out with a happy ending, which is something I love.
Yeah, we try. But I do think that, honestly, a lot of people, a lot of females are going to be entrepreneurs, and it's not because they want to. It's because they have no other choice, and they have to figure out.
Forced into it. Excuse me a second. Frugal money saver. Yay, I made it. Yeah. Better wait. Nice to meet you. Nice to see you. And
You
thanks
did a
for
recent
coming
video
by.
that was good about how to do Thanksgiving meal for $25, which I thought was really well done.
This is a true story. I have to allude to your channel a moment, if you might. Anyone, please get over to the Frugal Money Saver channel. Why? Because it's really good. And
Yeah.
someone said we sound the same. Well, if that's true, then I'm very flattered, because she's a very sweet lady with amazing ideas. I was so stoked because the other day I watched her video, a couple of videos I was binging, and one of the videos was about making a $25 Thanksgiving for 6 people.
I know.
Head
I
over
watched
to that channel. You gotta check it out.
it. Is
So,
really good.
okay, you know what? Guess what? We have to go to the viewers questions. Aha. And thank you so much for responding to my request for questions. You guys are amazing. Okay, absolutely adorable studio. Dawn wants to know, what are your hobbies?
Oh goodness. I wish I could put sleeping as a hobby, but it's not. But lately, I can tell you the things I love. I love yoga and Pilates. I like taking walks. I really have been reading a lot lately. I love to socialize. I like to play games. I like any kind of hobby. The good thing is that my hobbies don't cost very much money. I love taking classes. Right now I'm taking an online class, and and I cannot remember where I'm taking it from. It's through Yale, but it's actually free, a course on happiness, but it's taking a scientific perspective. So, I mean, and YouTube has to be kind of a hobby,
Yep.
that type of thing.
Well,
Basically,
it's been my hobby now for about 2.5 years.
yeah, I love laughing and enjoying life. That would be my
At
main
this time,
hobby.
I could call it a hobby, but I
Yes,
don't
that would
regret
also
it.
be kind of some hobbies. I used to be an avid couponer. Oh, I love to cook and bake. That would be a definite hobby.
And I love the way you
I wish we
present.
lived closer, because I love eating baked goods.
Oh my God. And I'm not trying to brag, but I make most everything from scratch, and you would like a lot of the stuff.
Not fair. You're making us both jealous. Not fair. All right. So Patty from the Life with Patty channel, another amazing channel to head over to. Patty wants to know, because you are self-employed. Oh, no, wait. That's a different question from Patty also. But she wants to know if you would ever consider relocating from Texas.
Only if I could live next door to Patty, since she does all these fabulous recipes. But then I might have to get my weight back. No, I would consider it. You know where I do really like? One state that I love is Montana. It is gorgeous. I love like the West Coast, like with the mountains. I think it's beautiful. The only thing is this: wherever I would live, I'd want it to be not an expensive place. For example, I've never been to California. I know there's some really beautiful areas. Well, I wouldn't want to live somewhere where the cost of living is really, really high. So wherever I live, I'd want to make sure that the cost of living would reflect that. But I actually, and I told Jan this, I would like to be a full-time YouTuber and travel around to visit all my YouTubers all around the world. That would be what I'd love. Of course, I wouldn't stay with my subscriber, because they need their privacy, but I'd maybe stay in a little bed and breakfast nearby or something. That would be fun.
Patty also wanted to know, because you are, an entrepreneur, or, self-employed or whatever, if you have your IRAs settled and your medical insurance settled, how you deal with.
I'm happy to answer that. First of all, I have a CPA. I pay taxes quarterly, and I have a special savings account sinking fund for taxes, so that I make sure I am always on top of that, and that I'm doing good with that. So that's number one. Number two, to be honest with you, my income is all over the place. I do have health insurance. I'm responsible for getting it myself. I do have Affordable Care Act, so I can get it at a discount, because there's been times in my life where I haven't had health insurance. Do I have investments? Yes, but I haven't been actively putting money into them for a while, because I wanted to become debt-free, and I wanted to originally build a 3 months income savings account, but now I'm working on a 1 year because of what's happened in 2020. So it was 90 days that I wanted, which is kind of recommended with Dave Ramsey to have 90 days, 3 good solid months, which is what I was working on. But investing will be something I think more of. but probably 2021, because right now I'm really trying to build my, I call it an income loss savings, because
Okay.
I lost some income during this time, obviously.
Because you just never know. Now I hope I'm saying this name properly, and if I'm saying it properly, please forgive me. I'm not sure if it's Hosea or Josiah. Hosea, I'll say Hosea's mom is the person's name. Asked, "Will the Texas Cowboys win the Super Bowl?" Do you have any way of predicting that?
I am not a sports fan. My husband is. He moved to Dallas, Texas from Green Bay, Wisconsin. He's a Packer fan. This might sound crazy. I'm originally from Minnesota. I'd like to see the Vikings win just because I'd love to see a team win the Super Bowl that's never won.
That's cool. Also, Hosea's mom, and if I'm saying it wrong again, forgive me, wants to know your top 3 frugal tips.
Okay, and I'm going to name them. Number 1, find more than one stream of income. That is my best tip. I feel stream more income. Number 2, this is my other tip. Because the money comes from my checking, I round up my checking and I keep extra money in my checking. So that way, if somebody were to, like, say, write you a bad check, or some of your income stream goes down, when this whole thing came up with what's going on in the world, I never expected it. I had an extra $3,000 in there, so that helped pay for close to a couple months of my bills by having that money in my checking. So keep extra money in your checking, make more money. And number 3, it's not about all the big changes. Make little, small, manageable changes so that you don't feel deprived. It's all about the baby steps. So that's my 3rd tip.
And also,
could I add?
Go ahead.
I want to add a story in there that I think is interesting. With frugal living, I think I told you guys both, we had a plumbing issue. And with this plumbing issue, it was going to cost us $8,000 to get it fixed. And so we got a second opinion, always get a second opinion. And we figured out that we could fix it ourselves. But we did some YouTube researching and we said, okay, how do you do this? And it was a little disgusting to fix the problem.
Yeah, let's not go into details in case anyone's seen it.
But we saved about $7,000 there of what it would.
And think of that's nothing to sneeze at. I'm so proud of you guys, because think of how long it may take to earn that $7,000. If people could just put that in their mind, how many work hours that might take.
And maybe Brandon can have a side hustle of being a plumber. And if any people watching the views, if any of you need us to send Brandon to your home to take care of some plumbing issues, we'll fly him there.
Yeah, that's probably not going to happen, but it was a little, but we figured it out. And I think that's one of the things I like to think through is everything is figure outable. And a lot of times we spend for convenience and we don't actually do our own research.
That's a good point. God, that's very well said.
Okay, Patricia Russell says she's not into sports, and honestly, neither am I.
Neither am I. I don't even.
Really? I love music. I could just drown in music 24/7. So yay, music. Let's see. Life of Patty. Wow, that's awesome. Yes, it absolutely is awesome. I'm going to turn the microphone, if you will, to you guys now, to random questions while we have a few more minutes to go, because we're going to be probably closing out in a few minutes. So while we have an opportunity, if you have any questions here right now, go for it.
Yeah, and maybe some questions for Brandon too, more about his channel, because some people are wanting to not just save money, but make more money and learn more about what it means to be an entrepreneur, which I think that's a good thing for many of us to focus on.
Absolutely. And why do some people think that it has to be a fancy thing, just because the word is a fancy word, to be an entrepreneur? If you're taking a nothing, turning that nothing into a something, and then earning money from that, that is the most simplistic way I can describe being an entrepreneur. Maybe I'm wrong. Do you want to add anything to that, Brandon?
Well, I would say a story that happened to my grandmother. So, her husband was the truck driver and he made the money, and she wanted a dining room set. And he said, no, you can't get that. So then what she did is figure out a way to make the money herself. Now, she was one of the typical stay at home, but she crocheted and did some things to make the income for her dining room set. So she was an entrepreneur before entrepreneurship was a thing, right?
Right.
She just didn't even know that it was there. And so if you are crocheting and you're selling it at a flea market, right? You're an entrepreneur. If you're creating YouTube videos and you make money from it, then you're an entrepreneur. There's so many areas, and the reality is, if we lose our job, a lot of times we had to figure out how to make money. And I think there's a difference between entrepreneurship and people who want to be entrepreneurs. I call them wantrepreneurs. There's a lot of wantrepreneurs out there, and there's a lot of entrepreneurs out there who don't think they are that. But
Brandon, Patty wanted to know the name of your channel.
Oh,
Patty,
yeah.
the name of the channel is, go ahead, Brandon.
Oh, yeah. If you look up Grandma's Wealth Wisdom, you'll find it. Grandma's Wealth Wisdom is the channel.
Well,
but Dawn,
is YouTube, is that considered entrepreneur? I didn't mean to interrupt. I apologize.
No, you're not interrupting. You were interacting. Please jump in. It's kind of, we have those over because we're a live show.
Well, is having a YouTube channel considered entrepreneur, Brandon?
So let me ask you this. Did you create a channel out of nothing? Was there a chance? Did you create that audience? Now, YouTube has their infrastructure, right?
Yeah.
But did you create your own thing?
Well, I would say, yeah, but YouTube gave me the platform.
Yeah, they gave you the platform. Same with Uber, same with, like, there's a lot of people who have platforms.
And they create the algorithm, which helps me, which I'm very grateful for.
So do you make money off of something that you created out
Google
of what
AdSense. Google Ads.
So I would say you're an entrepreneur. From my thinking is that you would not be making money if you didn't create that opportunity.
Okay, got it. Okay.
Yep. Kathy Fitzpatrick said something very, very kind. Brandon, and your discussion about entrepreneurship is very inspiring.
That's what we hope. That's what we hope to do with our channel. I think that honestly, in our economic climate, more people are going to be forced into entrepreneurship. And so that's why we wanted to create this channel, is to help people thrive when others are, maybe not. I don't know. Create a YouTube channel. It takes a lot of work, a whole lot of work, but eventually it pays off.
I want everybody to create a YouTube channel if they have something they love.
Yeah, everybody create. Erica Stout, please. Angel Girl, love you too back. I have to mention something about the purpose of my show. Today's show, for anyone viewing, is actually an exception to the rule, because this show, I'm trying to get people who are not yet, maybe they're below 1,000 subscribers or 500. I want to have that opportunity to interview folks like this who have something that I see, in my opinion, like I have like an eye for that, like, oh, that's going to be a great channel. That's going to be a great channel. I get so excited about it. And then if that person is willing to come on and describe their channel with me, try to, look me up, and you could come on here. And that's really what this basically show is about. I am so honored and humbled that the two of you stopped by here today. Does anyone else have any questions before we run off?
And can I say one other thing, Jan?
Please go ahead. Take your time.
Thank you. Well, the one thing, 5 hours later, just kidding. Anyway, the one thing that I want to say that I'm going to start doing, I was doing these daily shout outs, and it was great, but it got a little bit overwhelming for my viewers, because they're like, Dawn, there's a lot of great channels, but we don't have 5 hours a day to watch YouTube, even though these people are fabulous, I'm sure. So I kind of took a break from doing shout outs, but you guys know I post a week ahead. That way, if something happens with computer or glitches, I've got videos posted ahead. So like right now, this week, I'm already posting videos for next week. So on starting next week's videos, I'm going to be doing a once a week shout out, because it's not overwhelming. And I'll probably do it on one of my budgeting days, whether it's a Thursday or a Sunday. And the person I'm going to do shout out to is the long run with Joel and Christy. That'll be my next shout out. But I'm going to concentrate on channels that are not monetized yet. That's what I'm going to do.
That's awesome, Dawn. Kathy Fitzpatrick says, oops, of course I would lose it. I've been thinking about starting a channel, but I've yet to take the plunge. Maybe I will soon. Thanks to all of you.
And Kathy,
Hey,
also,
go
guess
for
what?
it.
I shouldn't speak for all of us, but all three of us would be happy to shout you out.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. You're so kind. And you know what? Like Roberto Blake says, everybody starts at zero. Roberto, if you're watching, just saying.
Yeah. Roberto's awesome.
And you're going to make like a lot of lousy videos. I still can't believe that pancake mix video, which was like
I
the
thought
most
that video was
horrible-
good. Jan, none of your videos are
the
lousy.
I love you too. The content was great, but the film, you're like, ew, shaky cam, bad graphics. Like, oh, then it went over to it said 8,000 views. I'm like, what?
Well, and I will say, Dawn, from what you were sharing with us about doing consistent videos, daily videos, that's what led us into doing the Fife movement. And we're like, what are we going to do these daily videos on? What's our focus? And so Amanda is like really good at that. So we said, well, let's create them and say they're the Fife movement. And so those videos came from you saying, hey, you should do them daily, which is a lot of work. People don't realize how much work it takes to do daily videos. But we do those daily. And then I have other videos that we have, like our podcast and other things. But it was inspired because you said you need to do daily. And we're like, what?
Wait, is the podcast separate from your YouTube channel?
So it's purposed. So the podcast is the same content as the YouTube channel.
Oh,
It's just a different outlet for the same info. Maybe
so,
a little
so
different.
you get the podcast if you go to your YouTube channel. We find it there.
So you can listen to it on YouTube, and then it's also on Anchor and Spotify and all of that. It's the same content.
I'm thinking of going the podcast route one day.
Yeah, Jan,
Violet,
I think Jan needs her own radio program. She would be.
Well, and Jan, all you got to do is upload it to a podcast as well as.
I know
YouTube.
we have that feature on this wonderful platform. Well, it's not actually a platform, but you know what I'm saying, streaming service. Violet Henning has a question for you, Brandon. Brandon, how did you decide what your channel would be about?
Well, part of it was the Grandma's Wealth Wisdom and looking at kind of what I do in the financial sector, and the safety. And I am skilled in finances. So we are licensed and we have some things. And we looked at what did Grandma do before the Wall Street took over in the 80s? And so that's kind of where Grandma's Wealth Wisdom started from. And that's what we mainly talk about a lot. Does that answer the question?
Thank you. And Absolutely Adorable Studio says, I really like the pancake video too. You're just so sweet.
Oh, she's always
so
nice.
You're just so sweet. We need more people like this in the world. Actually, you guys like really rock. Joan Milano, podcasts usually are too long for you. That's very interesting. Okay, we have to think about that.
Well,
like too long is like what, beyond a half hour or an hour?
It depends on sometimes the podcast. If it's like an interview like this, it's probably a really good podcast, right?
Thank you, Patricia.
And then some things are, hey man, if it's really bad content, then it's too long, even if it's 5 minutes. If it's really good
it has
content,
to do with your interest level, because I've actually listened to 3 or 4 hour, well, I mean, not stare and look at it, like done other things, like listening in the background, and all of a sudden 3 hours went by, like Roberto Blake, okay, all right, yes, that's it. And like, I'll listen to some of his like pod stuff, like 4 hours, like what?
It just depends. And sometimes they are long. If it's an interview style, well, maybe it's going to be longer. I don't know.
Thank you, Joan. Joan says an hour. Yes.
I personally don't like it to go longer than an hour. That's just me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like a show you'll get zoned out. And our videos that we do are like less than 10 minutes every daily video. We did that because you said short videos, and our podcast episodes that we release on that are shorter.
I wish I had 35 hours a day to listen to everybody's stuff. I seriously do. I really wish that.
Well, Jan, if you didn't require sleep, you might be able to.
You know I don't. You know this for a fact. I mean,
yeah.
Well, and I would say our Grandma's Wealth Wisdom podcast is longer form than our Fife podcast.
Violet says, yeah, I agree. I can listen to podcasts for 20 minutes, then I have to go again because I work so many hours and not allowed to have headphones on at work. Yeah, that was TMO. TMO.
Oh my gosh.
I know. Thank you for your kind comment. I mean, I've been like so happy to say that to you directly. Thank you so much for your channel support. I really appreciate it.
Now, Jan, will they be able to go back to your channel for anyone that might want to listen to part of this later?
Of course, this is going to get sent to YouTube destination.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure how that worked.
Oh yeah, they can. Anybody that missed this can catch this on replay, and they can even replay it 5,000 or 6,000 times. I don't care.
Wow.
Oh, that's they should. Well,
I want everybody to subscribe to Jan and pass it because, guys, Jan is so close to her watch hour. She has the subscribers, but she's not quite to the watch hours yet.
I actually did hit the watch hours, but because of some idiot decision of mine, deleting some videos, not realizing that when you delete some videos, guess what? The minutes that you earned go away. I did not really realize
Before
that.
Brandon was trying to say something. Go ahead, Brandon.
I was going to say I'm nowhere close to either. Watch
That's okay.
hours.
You'll get there.
But,
you know what, though, Brandon? You have a very specific
you too, TMO.
Yeah, see, Brandon has a very specific purpose on his channel. My channel is kind of like an umbrella with a lot of spokes. You have a very specific purpose. And so I think, there's really a lot of good things with that. But then there may be some folks that just want to learn about money saving tips.
Yeah. Right. But I think we're doing playlists. Like this week's episodes are all on YNAB. You need a budget. And so we created a playlist on, hey, how to budget using YNAB. And so that's all of this week's videos.
Yeah, and that's going to be really good because people like to prepare different budgeting methods to use.
Yep.
Absolutely. TMO says, I need to learn all this, so I do my channel right. Can I tell you something? There's never such thing as doing it right because it's constant learning.
Wait, I didn't know Tina wants to start.
Never stops. Awesome. Yeah, she has a channel.
No, wait, Tina. I think that's Tina. Tina, do you want to start your own YouTube channel? Wow, well, so I'll do a shout out.
TMO has a channel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Brandon does have a niche. He does have a niche, but a lot of people
says that they're YNABers too, Brandon.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
The long run says that they are YNABers.
Oh, YNABers, yeah.
Yeah.
I love YNAB. If you don't know what YNAB is, Google it. Or look up a video on Grandma's Wealth Wisdom and you can learn all you want about YNAB.
The resources are all there. The resources. And by the way, Joan said something very, very kind about everyone hit the like button. You know something? Yeah. If you could slam on that like button, I appreciate it. I really, really do.
Well, we have a variety of people on this channel. We've got you, Jen. You do a lot of, quick money tips. Mine, I would call my channel kind of eclectic. It is mostly about frugality, but it's considered an umbrella with many spokes because I do talk about weight loss, mental health. And then Brandon is about being an entrepreneur, which I believe is so important. I think it's good that you're niche down, Brandon, because I think once people really start discovering you, I think your channel is going to really, really grow because I think what you're doing is really needed.
And I have to say, my channel's been around a lot longer than yours, actually. We had 20 videos. I think when YouTube came out, we had this, but we never used it. I think it was 2013, I think, maybe, or 2012. But we used to own a coffee shop. And so if you look at my oldest video, you'll see our old coffee shop. And so it was our coffee shop YouTube channel, which was
You know,
Very,
I've
very
really, I've been making a note, and I have like about 10,000 trusty notebooks, little ones, big ones, scrap paper. I mean, you would think in 2020 I'd just be like typing everything somewhere else.
That's
But
okay.
I've been wanting to review your coffee shop video for like forever, but I plan to do that.
No, that was the oldest one.
Telling you directly, I do plan to do it.
Well, I had it private, and I was like, man, I got like lots of watch hours on this. I should make it public.
We love your background.
So I made it public, and then I realized it has to be 4,000 watch hours in a year, not 5 years. So anyway, that's why I was like, all right, well,
Thank you for coming by. No, thank you so much, Brandon, for that. That had to be an experience. I mean, really, the coffee shop and the community and all that stuff, but we know what happened. So
that's one of the things that people say, well, you need to be frugal and not go and spend money on coffee or things like that. For me, that's one of those things that brings happiness, and I will buy quality coffee and be okay with spending that money because it brings me joy. So
that's a good point. That's a good point, right, Dawn? About if the thing brings you joy, even if it's just a little bit, more than like you would like to. It's like so worth it. And it all depends on your situation and the goals that you have in mind. Because to just be constantly deprived, at the end of the day does not work out. Because then what's going to happen is you give up and then you just throw the whole cause out, and that's never good. You know what? I think that it's almost an hour. Wow. Thank you guys for being here. Does anybody have a last minute question, or anyone here have a comment last minute, Brandon or Dawn?
She wrote 4,000 watch hours in a year.
Yeah,
yes.
I have to be honest, guys. And I could be wrong when I say this. I am not a YouTube expert, so let me say that first. Yeah, disclaimer there. I know people have said 4,000 watch hours, but let me tell you what happened to me. I'll make this quick.
Take your time.
They used to, I always say 5 hours later. When I first got on YouTube, they had different set of rules. You didn't have to have a certain amount of subscribers, and I think it was 10,000, or maybe it was like 1,000 hours watch time. I don't remember, but it wasn't very much. And within 90 days, I got monetized because it was less. Then what happened is YouTube changed its rules. So I was monetized for like 2 months. Then because I had the subscribers by that time, but I didn't have the watch hours. But I don't think it's 4,000 watch hours in a year, because by that time I had been on YouTube like a year and a half, and they collectively took all my watch hour from that entire time.
It's a 12-month period prior to your watch hours. For example, you could have your 4,000 watch hours in October, but if the previous November didn't have so many minutes and they're calculating previous 12 months prior, it's going to be reflected on that and show up like that. It's unfortunate. It's a concurrent thing that dates back 12 months prior, unless I'm not correct. I believe I am correct.
I could be wrong too, but they didn't take my minutes from just 1 year. They took it
only 240,000 minutes. That's it.
Yeah.
Now, to a new person, that sounds like horrible. I actually did achieve past my 4,000 watch hours, but I stupidly deleted some videos, and that's why it bounced back. I'm at about 3,600 watch hours right now. So I can do it. It'll be okay. It'll be fine. I'll be all right. Okay. Listen.
And I think
Brandon,
one thing that we're learning is doing a lot of SEO and using TubeBuddy. And as I know I'm niche down, I'm creating videos that people are searching for, like how to use YNAB, and not just creating a video and hoping that somebody reads it, but
No. And yesterday, my video, I don't want to brag, it ranked #1 video out of the 10. 1 out of 10 searching. And that happened to me three times in the last month. So thank you guys. Love ya. The one with my 15 minutes of tea with me.
Oh, yeah.
She said, does making a video private take away your watch hours? Yes. So when it's private, the watch hour, it has to be public watch hours.
It's like little stuff that can like make a huge difference, but that's okay. Part of the learning thing. That's why, like somebody said before about they have to get it right. We never get this 100% right because life changes. YouTube things change, trends change, how you do things technically change, and we just have to just keep trying our best. That's all we can do. It's never perfect. Brandon and Dawn, what did I say before we went on the air? To not let it be what?
Perfect. We can just have fun and just see how it flows.
Yep.
Just have fun. And I think we did. I know we did. So we're going to go in a second. And does making a video prior? Okay, we did that. Lisa, how are you? This has been so wonderful. You are so wonderful. And I know you now. And I love you. And TMO, I love tea time with you too. Jump off. Yay.
There's so many awesome people. Ellen has a wonderful channel too. Absolute Adorable Studio, I know, has a channel.
Yeah.
If anybody wants to visit any of these. Oh, Greta says sweet. I love the name Greta.
Patricia Russell, you have a blessed day as well.
I know.
I want to thank everybody for being here. It's been one whole hour, and we are considered of your time respectful and really, really do appreciate it. If you missed any of this, there's playback, and it should be on before you know it. Just check it out later. Dawn, thank you very, very much for coming by. I'm humbled and honored. I mean, honestly, thank you.
And I want to add one thing as plug.
Sure. And thank you too, Brandon.
Totally subscribe to our channel. Even if you're not an entrepreneur, subscribe. It helps. And then on Friday, I'm going to be interviewing Rihanna Jones from A Frugal Life.
Oh, I love Rihanna.
I can't wait to watch that.
She hasn't done an interview, so 2 Eastern, me and Rihanna will.
I definitely am going to watch that. She is fantastic.
Yeah, so it's going to be fun. So we will be doing the same kind of thing at 2 p.m. Eastern on Friday. So
that's awesome. I can't wait to see that. Jump Off says, hit the like button before you folks go. Thank you. Please do that. Joe Milano, yes, hugs from Ohio. Yay!
Oh, Granny Prepper.
Granny Prepper. Hi, Jan and Dawn.
Hi. Hugs from Ohio. My family.
Brandon
Neely. She doesn't know. It's another Granny channel. Another Granny channel.
Well, I do have one question. Does anybody, and everybody's been telling me, Brandon and Jan, and I haven't done it yet. Would you, and I would not do it very often because you guys know what, most of my videos, most of them, 90% are short. Would any of you guys want me to go live and do a live stream just like?
Yeah, this is a good opportunity. Let us know if you would like Dawn on her channel to go live. Let us know. Just a simple yay or nay. Yes or no. It would
only be every
Hi, Rachel from New York. Hey, New York. Bye.
Rachel from New York City. I always want, you know what? New York City would never be the same after a visit from me. Can you imagine me running and going, you're
Neither would Texas after me. So we're just going to wait for some feedback about that. Okay, can I put in my 2 cents? Dawn, please do a live.
A lot of yeses.
Please do a live. Please do a live on your channel.
Okay, but I have to come up with a topic.
I mean, here's the thing I think about is you could interview other YouTubers too that you're not as you don't know as much in a certain topic. You can interview them to learn. I mean, that's the way good interviews are.
I know. I've even thought of starting another YouTube channel, but I don't know what it would be on. That would be kind of silly, but that's okay.
And Dawn does have a Patreon channel. She's kind of a little shy about mentioning it, but I'm not. Dawn has a Patreon channel where you get to see a different aspect of Dawn. I mean, like, yes, it's cool. We see her, on YouTube, and that's wonderful. But to go into a deeper dimension of seeing like the differences, more in-depth side of Dawn. So I was your first person that signed up.
Yeah.
The first one. Yay, me. Let's see. Joe Villano, topic, teaching our kids to be frugal. Oh, that's a good one. Well, I'll tell you how we could start teaching our kids to be frugal. Let's be frugal ourselves. Stop buying kids 36 ounces of sodas and soft drinks for one, which is so silly and wasteful. Sometimes we have to be the example.
I don't know about any of you. We did not have soda pop. That it was like during the holiday you'd have it, but we didn't have that in the house.
You getting a lot of yeses, Dawn. Just saying.
Thank you. Oh, by the way, we did have beer in the house, though.
So I do have a 2-year-old, and one of the things
No
I've
super
learned,
chat here. I don't know how to do super chat.
oh,
But thank you anyway for asking.
I think it's when you have
You have to be, I think, over
10,000
10,000 or something. Yeah. I'm just like 1,050 subs at this time. So I'm like, like a baby, like embryonic here.
I mean,
You're pre-embryonic.
I was going to say my son, his like first word was mine. And I feel like, and he says that all the time. And that's like, we're used to saying that.
Really?
Mine. Kids and adults say mine. It's all about mine. And what we need to learn is hey, it's not yours. And keeping our hands open a little more. I bet you get more if we have.
Wow, makes a difference. Jump Off says, send your kids to Dawn's house for on hand.
Yeah. I taught school for several years, so did Jan. By the way, my first word was a phrase. Won't surprise any of you that I talked at birth. But my first thing I ever said was, want to take a bath. That's the first thing I ever said was want. And I was
saying I want to stay dirty.
Bathtub. I said, I want to take a bath.
Very cool. Joan Milano says, my kids never had name brand jeans on the butt of their jeans. I do have to make a comment about name brands. All you're doing is, I'm not saying the quality isn't necessarily good. It's probably wonderful quality many times, but basically all you're doing is advertising for that person. It's like being a walking billboard. Remember those sandwich boards people used to walk around with in the 60s? That's effectively sometimes what a designer thing is. You are a billboard. You are advertising and promoting their business. And I'm not going to put you down for it, but that's kind of like what you're doing.
Yeah.
I think my son still has some name brands. They just happen.
I passed 1,000 subs, but that was a nice thought. Go ahead, Brandon.
Oh, I was going to say, I think my son has some name brands. They just happen to come from Goodwill after they came from.
Yeah, you can get those name brands from the Goodwill. Absolutely, right?
So I'm pretty sure he has some. I don't know what those name brands are, but.
But some name brands are better. Now, I don't know if you would call this a name brand, but one brand of clothes or one store that I love their clothes. They're very slenderizing. I don't know if any of you like the store. Chico's. Yes, it is more expensive.
I love Chico's. This is a Leslie Faye bag. I just want to show you an example. Leslie Faye bag. This is Leslie Faye bag. Gorgeous. Retail value was $50. Jan from New York City, $3.
It's wonderful.
Nice.
That's an example. Just saying. And wear classic clothing. So you always look okay. Mm-hmm. Jump Off 60s, try 30s with a sand. Okay, well, on Leave It to Beaver or Dennis the Menace, there was an episode where they were walking around with sandwich boards. So that's why I thought it was the 60s. I should know better than that. Joe Milano, exactly. Yes, Dawn, you should go live. You're getting more thumbs up on that, Dawn.
Thank you. I think
a lot of fun.
I think I will try. This is a one-time thing to see if it works.
So if you ever need some help on the technical side, using StreamYard is easy. And really it's.
If I could do it, anybody could do it, Dawn. Trust me on that. I'm not technical at all.
Okay.
I got the gift of gab, but I'm not technical at all.
But you seem pretty technical to me.
Thank you. But I'm not. Okay. Well, I think that's pretty much a wrap. I want to thank my wonderful guests. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much, Dawn. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, Brandon. Thank you guys for everything, for blowing up my channel yesterday. I was like, what? On that 15 minutes of teen, then I got that like #1 rank on that. That was like so cool. Thank you so much.
You deserve it, Jan. You're a lot of. I'm going to end with saying this. I promise this is the end. People are like, Dawn, I thought we were ending this 20 minutes ago. Honestly, and I've told Jan this because many of you know Jan and I are good friends. And one of the things I love, and that's why I like talking to people like Brandon and Jan, because they bring joy to your life. And it's how do I feel? I feel safe. I feel like it's a fun atmosphere whenever we talk. It's nostalgic. It's fun. It's joyous. And you go away feeling good. I mean, how many of us have people in our life that you talk to and you go away feeling bad? And then you have other people in in your life you talk to, and you go away with such a good feeling. When you come to your channel, it doesn't matter what's going on in the world. We're in a safety bubble over on Jan's channel.
Thank you
Because
so
can
much.
feel
I want
good.
people to feel better, not to feel worse. We go
to
through
say.
enough together, you know? It's like really
Feel
hard.
good being there.
Thank you
It's a
so much.
safe environment.
Jump
Safe.
Off, thank you, dear. Jump Off says, besides Dawn is sexy.
Oh God, someone, the Jump Off might need new glasses, but thank you, Jump Off.
Maureen Daly says, does anyone know what happened Mornings with Granny? Morning with Granny, of course, is still around, but she has had some unfortunate personal tragedies in her life, lost a lot of family members. We love her. A lot of subscribers, besides you too, Dawn, came from that channel to me. So I miss Mornings with Granny just as much, but that's what happened.
There's so many great YouTubers out there.
Sherry, if an unworking kid has a better purse, phone, or a car than I do, I see a problem in the making. Oh, Sherry, you know that one.
Oh, yes, I agree, Share Bear, the Care Bear.
Ellen, you're fun, and we love you. Michigan Lady, thank you all. Thank you all. Thank you all. I'm going to end it with this. Thank you all. Because if it's not for you, all four of us wouldn't be here. There'd be no reason. I'd be talking to the air. Hello, hello, hello. You know, like, thank you for being there. Anyway, take care, everybody. Thanks again, Dawn. Thanks again, Brandon. Everyone, have a wonderful, no, let me end this right. Have a great day.
Thank you. Bye.